making sausage.
We're making sausage from Hand Hewn Farms.
Their recipe.
One day I just walked up to Andy and I said, "Do you have a recipe for breakfast sausage?"
He's got a recipe for almost everything.
He said, "I'm going to give it to you and you're going to perfect it and it's going to become Heartiness approach sausage."
This is our first version of it, so it's not perfected yet. We're using the basic one, but there is a season it to taste, so that's going to go on a little bit. You're supposed to cook it up to taste it until you get it the way you want it. You
Serious?
just little things. That's how you do it.
Oh!
So let's get a pan
Ask
going
the
here.
master who's been through the class.
Let's get a pan going.
So this is all done on percentages, of which I do
Perfect
not
sauce pan.
understand whatsoever. He understands it perfectly because he went through the class.
Well, percentages are percentages. You start with the pounds of meat that you have, actually grams.
Grams.
It's far easier to work in grams, and you know,
Here's our
I
scale.
understand it's base 10, it's a number system we're a little more familiar with. So just get out of your mind that it's weight, it's really ratios we're talking about, so it's easier to work in base 10. So if you are able to weigh it in grams, fine. If you can't, do a conversion so that you can know how many grams you're working with, and then the math becomes easier. You can do it with pounds, it's just pounds, ounces, percentages. Oh, it gets a little tough. I mean, I can do it, a lot of you can do it, but why fight with it, okay?
Isn't it cute? I'm going to zero this out.
Yes,
Put this on.
yeah, put that on. We have 2,994 grams of sausage meat that we're working with here. So to get that turned into the sausage we want, we need
1.5%.
1.5% of that weight needs to be
Salt.
And I calculate that to be 44.91 grams.
Whatever. Oh, wow. Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm just making sure it's on. And, you know, we're a little humid, so you have to kind of shake it. 44 grams. Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? Oh, it's happening. So, how did you come up with that? Because that seems like a horrid...
Well, I take the number 0.015 and multiply it times 2,994. Okay.
Okay, so you might think that's a lot of salt. I do, but wait till you see how much meat it is.
So we can put that in. Get ready to mix it.
Put that into that bowl right there.
Okay. The next thing that we're going to be putting in is our black pepper, and it's 4.6 grams. Now this,
Okay,
we'll go with that.
we'll go with that. So the next one is sage to taste. I love sage.
So in this case, you need to measure how much and keep track of it, because when we cook up the sausage, if you don't like it, then if it's too sagey or not sagey enough, then you know what you need to do next.
3.
Write it down.
And then we need 17 grams of maple syrup. That's what concerns. Oh, I see.
You with me? Yeah.
Okay, 17 grams.
Slow you go. You're almost there.
Wow, that's not. There you go.
So we've got our ingredients. Are there any other flavorings you think you want to try with this?
Not to start with.
Okay.
He's going to pull out the meat now. We have 2 different things to grind it with, a coarser one and a finer one. We did it on the coarse to begin with, so that we made sure that the meat was going to all go through. Then we're going to mix this in, and then we're going to do it on the fine.
Yep.
Now, Jim, this is where you're just going to get in here with your hands.
Get into it.
Those hands clean?
I've been washing them.
Okay, so. And some gooey. That doesn't seem like very much gooey for that, does it?
I've been told you'll be surprised about how little you put in. And really, with us, being people who aren't into a lot of sweet,
That's good.
That's a good thing. We're still going to get the flavor from the maple. And that's what this is all about.
So let me tell you a little hint that he did. His mama taught him. As he was putting it through our grinder, and this is the grinder that we put it through, and we just twisted it and it came out.
At this point in our life, we don't have one of them fancy dancy, heavy duty, grind them up automatically grinders.
We just have the kind that we both grew up with, and so that's what we bought again.
Yes.
This is a piece of bread. So this is what his mama taught him. When you put it through the grinder and you got this wheel and you're trying to get the meat out, there's no way to do it. So he puts bread into it at the last of the meat. The last of the meat, and that grinds the meat out, and then the bread falls out into it. And I thought that was an ingenious idea. So I think the sky's the limit on what you can do, but this is your basic breakfast sausage. So let's go over the recipe. Your percentage of meat, whatever percentage of meat you have, you're going to take 1.5% of salt and add to that. 0.2% of black pepper. You're going to do sage to taste.
And the recommendation there is, the first time you're doing it, you put in the amount you think you're going to want. And you write it down so that come next time you remember what you did last time. But in this case, we're doing a taste test, so we're going to see how it tastes. We're going to say, ooh, that's too sagey. We say, next time, let's just do 2 grams of sage with that.
So
we'll cut down the percentage. If it's not sagey enough, we add more. We can add more now and mix it in, test it again, and if it's perfect, that's the recipe.
The maple syrup is 0.5 to 1%. Which percent did you use?
0.75.
0.75.
I did right in the middle.
Okay.
Which, you know, we ought to write that down so we don't forget.
Yep. Go ahead. And that's it. We mix it in together. We try a little piece, see if we like it, and then we're going to grind it on fine. And we'll let you watch us grind it on fine.
So that totally done?
Does it look totally done? Not too much salt.
Nope. Amazing salt. It's not salty. I like that.
It doesn't quite taste like breakfast sausage.
What would make it taste like breakfast sausage?
I don't know. I think when we grind it smaller, it's gonna.
That changes the texture. But
no,
that's not going to change the taste.
It will.
I think it needs a little bit of something.
What's it need? More sage?
Well, what besides sage could we put in it? What makes you think breakfast? Following the taste test, we realized that for our taste, as a breakfast sausage, we want a few different flavors in there. So we're going to go into the real experiment mode. So what are we going to add?
Okay, we're adding coriander seeds, ground.
I need to know how to spell some of this stuff.
Thyme.
Coriander.
Parsley. And I remember a few flecks of red peppers. Red pepper seeds.
Coriander.
Coriander. And if I am not mistaken, these are the seeds from cilantro.
That's a teaspoon, right?
And we're going to put in a teaspoon and a half. So that's 3 grams.
2,
almost
3.
I would say 2. Almost 3.
Let's say 2.5.
Okay. That's going in here. And then we're also going to put in 3 teaspoons, 1.5. 1.5 teaspoons of parsley. Unfortunately, I do not have enough of the thyme. I have.
How many grams was that of the parsley?
You know what? It wasn't any grams. It didn't even show up. Just put a teaspoon and a half and we'll go from there. And then I had a teaspoon of thyme is all I had. And this is red pepper flakes. Do you think that's too much for that whole batch, Jim?
Can't imagine.
You don't have to put in very many for it to be hot.
How much does it weigh? 1 gram.
That's quite a bit.
Okay.
You think we want that much? This could be hot sausage. Let me do half of that. Are we just kind of tripping your mind there? Okay, we are now out of red pepper flakes, and we are out of thyme in a bottle. I have it on the plant. You know, Jim, is there any reason at all that I can't put fresh thyme in there? And when you're using fresh herbs, you use a lot more than if you're using dry herbs. And I just picked these.
Taste test number 2. A bit more breakfast.
Wow.
That did it.
That was good. Okay.
I'm thinking breakfast right now.
Wow, that is
Can we
good.
get some eggs and
So we added coriander, thyme, parsley, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. And we could have even had more red pepper flakes, I think.
yeah, that amount of meat it mixed in.
You know what? We'll just do it when we'll put them through with it when we do it. Okay, now we're going to grind it for you so you can see that. Yeah, that's good.
We're ready now to start the finer grinding. We've got the extra pepper that we wanted to add mixed into the meat here. So we're gonna grind it down. We're gonna have it come out this little sausage shooter so that it can...
We're just gonna see what that's like.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that works.
All right, here we go. So now we're going to take off the little tube that makes them in the straight ones, and we're just going to do bulk sausage and put them into 1 pound packages, or probably for us, ½ pound packages. Okay. So we're just going to package a lot of this up. It's bulk. It's still really good. It'll make wonderful I would use this with the seasoning in it for ground pork to go in meatloaf and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and package this up. This part right here will be fine for sausage, and we'll keep going. So hopefully you've learned something today. I'll try to put everything down in the statement below. Again, another thank you to Hand Hewn Farms for everything they taught Jim in his class. And once again, hopefully we have them out here next year so that they can help with our pigs. Guess what? Decision made. We're getting an electric grinder. Right?
When we were doing little amounts of things, this was great. For the quantity we have to do.
For the turkeys, we ground all the turkey breasts last year.
Well, we just don't have this kind of time. If we had a lot of time, then I know you're growing a lot of time.
Time in a bottle is a different kind of time.
It's a different kind of time.
So I would just take it off and pull it out.
About to the end.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and please like and subscribe and share this with others.